Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. It's 2024. How about that? Look at what God has done. He has brought us into a brand new year. And I don't know about you, but I'm extremely happy about that. I know that God has so much more for me in 24 than in 23. I already know. And if you believe that as well, then why don't you just shout it out all right on this morning? Now, yes, I started about 3, 4 minutes late. To be honest with you, I just woke up. I just woke up not too long ago. Typically I am up, working out, doing all of that and all. But when you do watch night service, it ain't like you can just pop. You've been partying, so it takes you a minute. So let me greet some folk and then we're going to get into the word. I want to find out before we do that. It's going to be a little bit longer than typical because I want to find out from you. What did you do on last night? Well, Erica, I know what you did. I saw you in church and we were partying hard, if you will. Brenda, I didn't see you, so you got to report, in the military, you got to report absent without leave. I think that's AWOL, they call it. Good morning, Pamela. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Carolyn. How are you on this morning? Ella, how are you? Elder Mobley, how are you? Maritha, how are you on this morning? Lena, how are you? Gloria, how are you? Anna, how are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody on this morning. What did you do last night? All right, Gloria said you were at church at New Covenant United Holy Church. I know already. Okay. Carolyn, I know you watch. You're all right. You did okay. Very good. Stayed in. There's one thing, and this is not the case with Carolyn, because I know you stay in the suburbs over in the same area as I do here on the east side of the Mississippi in St. Louis area. But for some churches that live in urban areas, I think it's such a difficult thing. Good morning, Shay. How are you on this morning? In that everybody can't have church because of the violence. I was just watching the news or reading the news about yesterday or sometime when the mayor was pleading with that it not be as much violence, when because it's hard. People trying to go to church, trying to celebrate coming in with the new year. Good morning, Angela. How are you? I already know you were at New Covenant. I already know. Good morning, Erica. One more time, Bishop. Then you sound stuffy, cause I just woke up not too long ago. That's why stuffy. What you think? I'm not the kind of guy, and I told you it's going to be a little bit long. We're just going to celebrate. You didn't go to work today, and many of you, I'm sure, did not go to work today. One thing about it, and I preached last night too. That's another thing. But there's one thing about the fact is that uh, I can't just go to sleep. I have to come down. I can't just go and it could be 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, or maybe if I've driven home in the old days of going from one state to another in the military, and but my head just don't. I don't. If I do that, I'll stay awake longer. So I have to do something to come down. So by the time I came down from the service and came down and settled myself, it was probably around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It was easily probably three. Um, and I was trying to get. I just be honest with you all. I was trying to get my last sweets in too. How about that? Because we're going into the fast of the day of our last day of grace or what have you. But at any rate, that's just all in my business. How about that? Good morning, Patricia. How are you on this morning? Tally, how are you on this morning? What did the man or woman of God preach last night? Did you go to church? Did you go to church? Did you watch? What did the man or woman of God preach last night? Put it in the chat area. Man, it's going to be a great, great year. Happy New Year. It really is. More in 24. It really is going to be a great year. Now, you already know what we're doing. Let me just show you. If you don't have this, you need to get it. You need to get it. You need to go on the website, and you need to go on the website. And then what you need to do is get this journal. Get the journal, and this is what we're using for the whole month. This is what we're using for the whole month that I'm going to, so you don't have to wonder what am I going to use. You won't know what I'm going to say because I'm not going to just repeat what's in here. I'm going to add to what's in here. But this is going to be our guide. The other thing that you need, you need to go ahead and get this book. You can go to Amazon, go to Amazon.com, and of course, and get this book because this is what I'm going to be teaching all year long. We're going to go through the whole Bible. We're going to learn the whole. I'm excited. I'm so excited about that. So let's get into the word on this morning. Again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And this morning is all about how do I be more like Christ. More in 24 starts with me being more like Christ, more Christ-like. That's what this whole week. Now, so when you get this, just a little bit of insight. This opens each week with a introduction to what we're going to be covering the whole week, and then each day pulls out more from the introduction. It starts out, if you read the introduction, that it's about being more like Christ, The text to talk, the takeaway. The text this morning is today's truth in 1 Peter 2:21. For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example, so that you might follow in his steps. More in 24 starts with you being more Christ-like. That's what we're talking about this whole week. There are three things that I need you to do and to understand with respect to this text on this morning. Suffering separates the wheat from the chaff. Suffering separates the wheat from the chaff. We don't like suffering. Who does? I'm not raising my hand, but I am raising my hand to be more like Christ. And the moment that I do, it's going to require some suffering, some stuff I don't like. It's not always physical. It could be spiritual. It's not always spiritual. It could be some things that I'm dealing with. And one of the things that I grab a hold of is it separates the wheat from the chaff. The second thing that suffering can do in your life is it separates the curd from the fat. My father grew up on a farm. I did not. I did some farm work as a kid. And one of the things that my father used to talk about is they would take the curd from the fat. Evidently, the curd, after you milk a cow, I have no clue. There will be a separation, the fat from and the curd. And the curd is the thing that it tastes better than the fat. Suffering causes that. Suffering separates who we want to be from who we are. Suffering separates who we want to be from who we are. It's going to take some things to pry you out and cause some growth in your life. And nothing does that better than when you're going through. From who you want to be, to who you are. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this. In what ways is God using suffering in your life right now? In what ways is God using suffering in your life right now? How about that? Well, the Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you, give you peace. Share this, man. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep this to yourself. This is how we're going to roll for the whole month. Get the devotional guide. I'm going to add more to it in our morning manna. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. I'm going back to bed. See you tomorrow.